Hey everyone! If you're ready to seriously boost your ACT math score, you are in the perfect spot. Today, we're going to master a topic that is a total game changer: proportions. Let's jump right in.
So, why are we focusing on this one topic? It's simple. Nailing proportions can literally add 3 to 4 points to your score. I mean, that's huge. Every single ACT has a bunch of these questions. And by the time we're done here, you're going to be spotting and solving them in no time.
Seriously, think of proportions as your secret weapon for the ACT. They pop up so often that getting good at them is kind of like finding a cheat code for a higher score. This is all about working smarter, not just grinding harder.
Okay, so what do these problems actually look like on the test? Well, the good news is there are only two types you have to worry about: direct and inverse proportions. Let's break down what that even means.
And trust me, it's way simpler than it sounds. For a direct proportion, think of it like two things moving together, holding hands. If you work more hours, you make more money. See? They both go up. But with an inverse proportion, it's more like a seesaw. If you have more people working on a project, it takes less time to finish. One goes up, the other goes down. Simple as that.
And check this out. These are the only two formulas you need to remember. For direct proportions, we set up two fractions to be equal. Why? Because the relationship, or the ratio, stays the same. For inverse, we multiply the pairs together because their product is the thing that stays constant. They look totally different, right? That's great. It makes it easy to know which one to use.
All right, that's enough talk. You want to see how this works with some real problems, right? Let's solve a couple of classic ACT-style questions, and I'll walk you through every single step.
First up, a direct proportion problem. Okay, listen to this. If 5 pounds of apples cost $8.75, how much would 12 pounds cost? I really want you to pause and try this one yourself. Go on, hit pause. Okay, you back? So does it make sense that if you buy more apples, it's going to cost more money? Of course. They move in the same direction, so it's direct. We set up our fractions, cross-multiply, and boom, the answer is $21. Okay, now for an inverse one. If it takes 6 workers 8 hours to build a fence, how long would it take just 4 workers? Again, hit pause and give it a shot. All right, you ready? If you have fewer workers, it's going to take more time, right? That's our seesaw effect, so it has to be inverse. We use that multiplication formula, solve for t, and we get 12 hours. See how the logic works?
So you've got the formulas down, but here's the thing. The ACT loves to set little traps to try and trick you. Let's talk about the most common mistakes people make so you can just sidestep them and keep those easy points. Okay, trap number 1, and it's a big one. Just plain using the wrong formula. The fix for this is so easy. Just ask yourself that one question. Are the two things moving in the same direction or opposite directions? That's it. The next trap is mixing up your numbers when you write it down. To beat this, just quickly write it out in words, like pounds over dollars equals pounds over dollars. It keeps everything lined up. And last but not least, people forget to do a final logic check. Just ask yourself, does my answer even make sense? It takes 2 seconds and catches so many mistakes. Okay, so you know the basics, you know how to avoid the traps. Now, let's talk about speed. Because on the ACT, the clock is always ticking. Here are a few pro tips to help you fly through these problems with total confidence. This right here is the golden key, the one question that solves everything. If I increase one thing, does the other thing increase or decrease? That's it. That's the direction test. If you burn this one question into your brain, you will never pick the wrong formula. Seriously, this is the most important takeaway. Want a few more speed hacks? I got you. Sometimes it's actually faster to find the unit rate first. Like with the apple problem. You could have just figured out the price for 1 pound of apples on your calculator and then multiplied by 12. Super fast. Also, look for clue words. If you see at the same rate, that's almost always a signal for a direct proportion. And, like I said before, always do that 5-second, does this answer feel right check. But listen, this isn't just about getting a better test score. Proportions are literally everywhere in the real world. You're going to use this skill all the time, especially in college.
Ever look at a huge skyscraper and wonder how they built it from a little drawing? That's proportions. Architects and engineers live by them, making sure everything scales up perfectly from the blueprint.
Or how about just cooking? I am a terrible baker, I admit it, but when I actually need to make a recipe for more or fewer people, I have to use direct proportions to scale the ingredients. Otherwise, it's a disaster. And what about money?
Proportions are all over finance. From figuring out currency exchange rates when you travel to a business calculating its profit margins, it all comes down to ratios.
And here's where it gets really, really important. In science and medicine, getting proportions right can literally be a matter of life or death. Doctors, nurses, pharmacists, they all use proportions to figure out the exact right dose of medicine. So yeah, learning this skill now is a pretty big deal.
Okay, so let's wrap this all up. Here's what you need to remember. First, if things move in the same direction, it's direct, and you use the fraction formula. If they move in opposite directions, it's inverse, and you use the multiplication formula. Always, always use the direction test to figure out which one it is. For a quick shortcut, try finding the unit rate on your calculator. And finally, a quick logic check at the end will save you from 90% of silly mistakes.
So there you have it. You now have all the tools you need to absolutely crush proportion problems on the ACT. The only thing left to do is practice. You've totally got this. Now go solve some problems.